The first time Ranran met Si Chen was when she was knocked down by him. At first, her impression was very bad. Ranran encountered difficulties, and Si Chen did not hesitate to help her. Their relationship gradually heated up, but they were opposed by Ranran and broke up. After 5 years of meeting, Ranran called Si Chen because she was drunk and told him that she loved you all. The young man also knew that he loved Ranran very much, so he pushed Ranran against the wall and you couldn't escape. Chapter 1. First Encounter. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. September 1st. The sunshine was bright, and the first ray of sunshine shone on the girl's face. There was a tear mole under the corner of her eye, and her fair neck was exposed. The girl was still dreaming and her saliva was flowing. At this moment, the alarm clock for punctuality came from downstairs. Ranran got up and was going to be late for school. That's right, this is my mother, Ranran. After washing up, I took some bread and said, Ms. Yun, I'm going to school first. I was riding my bike to school in the shed, feeling good and singing a song. I went to Fuching No. 1 Middle School, but on the way, a jeep bike suddenly hit me. Fortunately, it was just a scratch. The young man sitting in the bike had a handsome face and knew how to dress. Suddenly, the young man glanced at me with his apricot blossom eyes and said, Is it okay? I'm going to be late, please make way. I got angry and said, Aren't you going to apologize? What are you dragging? What's so amazing? Humph. The young man didn't show any expression on his face and left. I was so angry that I didn't want to meet you again. I looked at my watch and realized that I was going to be late. As expected, I was already late when I arrived at school. When I arrived outside the classroom window and saw the teacher in the classroom, I nervously said, Report. The teacher said, Go to the back and stand. I walked away dejectedly and muttered softly, It's not because of that person yet. The teacher said, There will be a new classmate in the first class later. You should get along well and skip the morning reading class. The whole class is quietly discussing new classmates. I don't know if the new student's grades are good or not. I don't know if the new student is a boy or a girl. Are they good looking or not? If only the new classmate were a handsome guy. Finally, after class, I walked and pounded my leg as I sat down. At the front table, Wan Tian, I said, Class monitor, do you think the new classmate is handsome or beautiful? I'm not sure about this, how do I know? You'll know when class starts. As soon as he said, it happened to be class. The teacher walked in, and behind him stood a handsome girl with apricot blossom eyes and long eyelashes. She was wearing white clothes on top and jeans on the bottom, which was originally a normal outfit. Why does it give a different feeling when worn by a young man? The teacher said, Introduce yourself. The young man wrote 2 large characters with chalk, Si Chen, which looked like he had practiced it. Sitting with the class monitor, let's sit in the last row. After class, take the monitor to collect his school uniform. The young man walked up with a cool demeanor, but it seemed difficult to provoke. He sat down and took out his textbook from his backpack. I lightly touched him with my hand and said, You haven't apologized to me yet and caused me to be late for class. The boy didn't pay attention to her. I waited until school was over, and you haven't apologized to me yet. If I don't go get your school uniform, I'll go by myself. Forget it, I'll go instead, so as not to be incompetent as the class monitor. On the way to pick up the school uniform, I walked with him all the way without saying a word. When we arrived, we let him pick it up by himself and I went straight home. On the way home, I met a man wearing a black outfit, with a gold chain around his neck and ear holes. He walked up and tugged at him, not to mention thinking he owed him money. I thought there was AB at first glance, and I thought it was a big brother. He suddenly walked up and said, Do you know Si Chen from Fuching No. 1 Middle School? Sorry, I don't know you. Please don't block the way, after all, you should be a good person, Hee I have to speak well of him in front of him, otherwise I won't pay attention if I get beaten up. The young man settled down, glanced at me, and replied lightly, you can leave now, classmate. Dressed like this these days, I'm still a good person. It seems that I've been burning incense a lot these days. That young man is wondering if the boss is not famous. There are still people who don't know him. Chapter 2. Strawberry Cake. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The next morning, if it weren't for my uncle's business and asking me to help take care of his shop, I wouldn't have wanted to come. Who will come? Isn't watching TV and playing with phones fragrant? If it weren't for my uncle being particularly kind to me, I wouldn't have come. Fortunately, there are no customers yet, otherwise we would be too busy later. Not to mention it's okay, now that customers come to our doorstep voluntarily, there's no way they can do it. Customers are just gods, unwilling and helpless. I immediately changed to look like a shop assistant, and when I saw them, I didn't want to operate and wanted to drive them out. The person who came in was wearing a school uniform from Fuching No. 1 High School. Wearing the uniform gave him a different feeling, and I admit it was very handsome, at the school grass level. However, I have had a relationship with him, so I cannot see the shining characteristics on his body. He also followed me after school and met Brother Tua, the boss. Sweetheart's birthday is coming up tonight. She likes to eat strawberries, so why not buy her strawberry cake? Would, do whatever you want. I don't usually have a birthday. Really, have you finished chatting? What would you like to eat? Please order your meal. As soon as the young man looked up, he met his beautiful apricot blossom eyes and hooked his lips, saying, hey, isn't this the class monitor? Hee, thank you for recognizing me. You still owe me an apology. The young man suddenly laughed, his face full of spring breeze, and apologizing was impossible. Would. Do you know each other? I asked her before, do you know each other? She answered that she didn't know. We really don't know each other. Ranran. Would. So what do you want to order? Strawberry cake. Sorry, it's gone. This is not on the table, sorry, it has been reserved. Can you make one now? I'll add the money. Sorry, I don't know how to make it. There's no strawberry cake, everything else is available. I don't know how to do it. What kind of store are you opening? It's really a waste of emotions. I left. Cut, walk slowly without delivery. Shit. No swearing, boss, you really talk about civilization. I can see that the girl doesn't even have strawberry cake, she actually doesn't want to sell it to us. Let's go, it's not just a store anyway, but boss, Tian likes the cakes in this store. So let Tian change his taste. After the young man finished speaking, Mu Han next to him blushed. Boss, I haven't confessed to Sweet yet. Please confess your feelings as soon as possible, don't let Tian not know what you mean to her. Mu Han. Okay, go to another store, order the cake, boss. Can I go to your house for a sweet birthday? The young man hesitated for a moment. After all, his friend had never been to his house before, and he didn't want anyone to know the secret he had buried for many years. Mu Han. Seeing Si Chen hesitating for a moment, I said goodbye to the boss. If it weren't for my mother not giving me money this week, I wouldn't have let sweet birthday be with you. I will go to KTV for my birthday party. You can ask Tian to invite her good friend to come and have a lively life. In the evening, Tian walked in with a smile on her face. Would, my birthday gift, my friends are almost here. Sweetheart suddenly spoke up, wait a moment, there's also one of my good friends who hasn't come. Mu Han. Where are the masters and others? Zhang Tian. No, she didn't originally want to come because she went to work early this morning. I begged her to come. Speaking of which, Ranran is a bit slow. There shouldn't be any minor accidents on the way, right? Suddenly, the door was opened, and the boy heard a voice. He looked up and saw that he was wearing a blue camisole dress with fair legs exposed. Wearing it revealed his graceful figure. The young man couldn't help but feel his Adam's apple rolling. At this moment, he had an idea in his heart to hide the girl from others. Chapter 3. Birthday. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sorry for the long wait. Si Chen saw sweat on the girl's forehead, so she should have come running over. Zhang Tian. If it's okay, I would be very happy if you could come. At this moment, Wood pushed out the cake and looked up to finally see Ranran. Why did you come? Even though you had a strawberry cake, why didn't you say it? That's it, I told her my heart, I should give her face. Ranran. I didn't know it was a sweet birthday, so I'll sell it to you. Otherwise, I'll throw away the cake and I won't sell it to you anything. Si Chen laughed angrily at these words. It seems that this little girl holds a grudge. It seems that in the future Zhang Tian. They're doing this to you. It's okay, I had a holiday with them. One of them bumped into me without apologizing, and the other dressed like that. I thought he was a little thug. Muhan. Auntie, my previous outfit was okay, and I didn't do anything to you. I just wanted to ask you about my boss's impression at school. He used to be very famous in our school. Si Chen. I won't talk about the previous events. It's time, Wood came to put on the birthday crown for Sweetheart. A group of people gathered around Sweetheart to sing a birthday song, and everyone said a happy birthday to Sweetheart in unison. Thank you all for taking the time to attend my birthday. Sweetheart, make a wish quickly, otherwise it won't work if your birthday is over. After making a sweet wish, they blew out the candles and distributed the cake in their hands. The Wood sighed and said what wish they had made. Let's see if we can help you fulfill it. The person next to me couldn't bear to watch anymore and said, Wood doesn't work when it comes to speaking. Okay then. On the other hand, after finishing the cake, Ranran felt drowsy. She propped her hand on her head, squinted her eyes, and was quietly paying attention to something she didn't know. After everyone finished eating, they felt bored. Wood suggested that everyone play games, such as King's Game. If you draw a king, you can specify what number to do or answer questions. If you can't answer, if you don't want to answer, drink alcohol. Everyone thought it was possible and agreed. Zhang Tian went to call Ranran and Ranran got up to play games. The pretty eyebrows twitched slightly, but in the end, they agreed and stood up quickly. Everyone sat together, and Si Chen didn't originally want to play, but when he saw Ranran playing, he also joined in. After the Wood dealt the cards, he saw that his card was the king and couldn't help but laugh and say, I am the king. Assign number 3 to answer the question. Coincidentally, it happened to be Tian Tian. Seeing Tian Tian, I felt a bit selfish and wanted to change my answer to whether you could agree to my confession. This is a heartfelt statement, but I didn't say it in the end. Do you have anyone you like? I feel like I can eat melons while sitting. Zhang Tian thought for a while, but in the end, she didn't answer. Mu Han's expression underwent a subtle change. With the wooden starting array, everyone played very freely. Ranran had good luck and has not been asked any questions since then. This time Ranran has drawn the king, designated number 6, and answered the question. What was your childhood like when you were a child? At this moment, there was no sound. Who is the wooden number 6? At this moment, Mu immediately shut up when he saw Si Chen on the 6th. After all, he still knew something about his family. After all, he was his childhood friend and used to be a neighbor. Mu Han. Forget it, let's not play anymore. The girl next to me who has no vision spoke up, and number 6 hasn't answered the question yet. Si Chen's eyes darkened, without any light. Ranran looked up and met Si Chen's eyes. She knew that number 6 was Si Chen, and felt that he had had a bad experience when he was a child. Ranran suddenly said, I called the wrong person. I originally wanted to call number 5. Others, Ranran, this is your mistake. Although you called it wrong, you can still ask number 6 to answer the question. So far, he doesn't admit who number 6 is. It was originally my problem, after all, I called the wrong one. I did it first. Just as she was about to pick up her glass, she was snatched away by a skinny hand that was comparable to a comic artist. She drank it all in one go, and the dim light in the boy's eyes shifted and returned to its original state. It was very late, and everyone went back to their respective homes. Suddenly, Si Chen called out to Ranran. Thank you for helping me out. Ranran smiled slightly at the corner of her mouth, realizing that you would also say thank you. Si Chen. When you still don't know much. Ranran's heart underwent a subtle change, and she began to be curious about Si Chen's life, what kind of childhood it was. Chapter 4. Sports Meet 1. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After a sweet birthday last night, Ranran arrived early in the classroom today. The only sound in the classroom was her flipping through books. Time passed so quickly that Ranran was immersed in the ocean of learning and didn't notice anyone sitting next to her. Si Chen. Looking up and seeing the serious appearance of the young girl, he couldn't help but be attracted by her. The young man couldn't help but move his Adam's apple. At this moment, the bell in the classroom rang, and the teacher walked in with high heels, clattering. The giggling classmates immediately changed into a well-behaved baby. Today, I received a notice that the annual sports meeting will be held. You should actively sign up. If no one reports, the teacher will make the decision for you. After the sports meeting, there will be the first mock examination exam. My classmates screamed in agony, didn't they? The teacher heard their voices and felt a bit dissatisfied. It wasn't arranged by me. If you don't want it, you can go find the principal. Upon hearing the teacher's words, everyone quieted down. The sports committee arranged for a moment, and after speaking, they walked back in high heels with a clattering sound. The name of the sports committee member is Chen Zhe, who is very gentle. Unexpectedly, he elected the sports committee member with a loud voice, and as expected, one cannot judge by appearance. The student next to me said, if you want to register, you can register. Anyway, I won't register. Isn't it Xiaoxin? The teacher said that if no one reports, she will make the decision. At this moment, Zhang Tian said to Ranran. Do you want to register? I don't want to report, I just want to be an audience member. As for the report, you can't stand being sweet and coquettish with me. As expected, her parents will name her. Sweetly holding up Ranran's hand, she walked to the front of Zhanze. She saw Ranran walking in front of him, and he gave him a different look. Sitting beside her, Si Chen felt Chen Zhe's different feelings towards Ranran, which was a man's intuition towards men. Zhang Tian directly hooked the high jump and the women's 800 meters, while Ranran directly reported 1,500 meters. Zhang Tian was stunned, and few people reported it. Ranran reported it directly, and Zhang Tian hugged Ranran directly. You are my god. OS. I used to be a sports student, so running is average. If Zhang Tian knew Ranran's thoughts, Tian would definitely marry her. Si Chen. OS. If you can be so certain, it looks like you are a practitioner. I also reported the men's 3,000 meters, and Ranran was amazed by his words. After all, boys find running too tiring and usually choose to run 50 meters, instead of choosing long-distance running. The girl next to you can't sit still. Xiaoxin, hurry up and sign up. Your male god needs to register. You need to let him know about you, so you can behave well. EP1-10 walked up to Chen Zhe and said, I reported the woman's 800 meters. I'm sorry, the 800 meters are full, leaving 1,500 meters. Do you want it? Sweetly spoke up, isn't this Miss Ranran who has a princess's destiny? EP1-10 knew it was ironic, and if it weren't for Si Chen being here, she would have wanted to have a fight with her. Her fingers were embedded in her flesh, making her itch with anger. She reluctantly reported 1,500 meters, which was fatal for her without exercise. In contrast, 1,500 meters was no different from not running for Ranran. As the sports committee wanted to set an example for the whole class, Chen Zhe reported every project. Ranran gave him a thumbs up, and Chen Zhe immediately became humble. His gaze towards Ranran was intense, and only he couldn't feel it, while the others felt it. Si Chen couldn't bear Chen Zhe staring at Ranran and pretended to say to Ranran, "I have something to talk to you about." Chen Zhe always felt that Si Chen was a bit hostile towards him, perhaps it was the boys who knew him better. Someone is causing trouble in sports day too. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Is there anything wrong with Si Chen? Oh, nothing more. I had something to ask you earlier, but I forgot about the question. Si Chen. I now realize that whenever Ranran talks to other members of the opposite sex, I feel a bit uncomfortable. I feel that boys have too much possessiveness, right? Ranran. There's something wrong with it. Even Tian next to him felt the difference between Si Chen and Ranran, but seeing Ranran's reaction to him, he reflected that sentence, those who are in the game are lost, those who are watching are clear. The sports broadcast draft asked Ranran to produce a draft, but there's no way anyone can make Ranran's writing good. The sports meet has started, and now the women's 800-meter race is being held. You can wear sportswear instead of school uniforms. Please conduct an inspection, and after the inspection, please take your positions. Ranran didn't have a competition in the morning and volunteered directly. She saw a person wearing a black outfit and a mask sneaking into the audience. I followed behind him, lightly patted his back, and said to my classmate, "You don't seem to be from our school, do you?" He had a straight back and dared not speak. At this moment, a voice came from the beginning, not from our school, but I knew him. Si Chen is wearing sportswear, wooden. Why did you come? Muhan. Hee, beautiful woman, we're meeting again. I forgot to introduce myself before. My name is Muhan and I'm from your neighboring school. I'm here today to cheer for Tian. Ranran let out a faint sigh, without any emotion. At this moment, the broadcast sounded, the slogan of the sports meet. The green color of Fuching No. 1 High School has brightened the runway, and the melody of youth has become the notes of this song. The hot heart of the youth in the blooming season, the sincere and unchanging heart, your figure is the scenery on the runway. With agile steps, you have stepped forward with confidence. Listen, we are all cheering for you, come on, fly. Victory is smiling at you, and the melody of youth will always echo in your ears. On the sports field, there is your spirited and heroic demeanor, and on the sports field, there is your fighting figure, coping with the long journey. You have no fear or retreat, let sweat wet your back, let fatigue crawl all over your body, still strive and pursue, only one goal, only one belief, win honor for the class, fight hard, I shout for you, I will wait for you at the finish line. The referee's slogan was issued, and the athletes rushed out like arrows, falling behind in pursuit of me. The audience was boiling with enthusiasm, cheering and cheering for the athletes they liked. This is the appearance of youth, this is what we should have. The morning exercise has ended, Muhan proudly said, "Sweetheart, congratulations on winning first place." Sweetheart hugged Ranran, and you are going to compete in the afternoon. Ranran is very confident that she can win this afternoon. Confidently say, look at me. Si Chen took a bottle of water and walked up to Ranran. Here, give it a good cheer and do your best. Little did they know that all of this had been seen. Xian's nails were embedded in her flesh, and her friends next to her looked a bit eerie. The girl who is truly jealous is the scariest. The girl stood on the track, most outstanding, shining white and the tallest among them, easily recognizable at a glance. With one command from the referee, the mobilization was shot like an arrow, and long-distance running was not about speed, but endurance. Ranran first kept running at a normal speed, then accelerated on the last lap. Others ran to the end without strength, and only 1 or 2 people on the playground persisted. EP1-10 gave up. With the last lap left, Ranran began to accelerate and run too seriously. Suddenly, she stumbled and lost her balance, falling heavily. Ranran wanted to stand up and continue the competition, but unfortunately couldn't stand up. The young man rushed towards Ranran with a fierce look in his eyes and issued a warning to EP1-10 beside him. EP1-10 was a bit afraid to look into the eyes of the young man, because his anger was too strong. There was countless tenderness in Ranran's eyes, and even Ranran felt his difference towards her. Si Chen, I want to persist in the competition. I don't want to miss out on this half lap, there must be a beginning and an end. No, if you keep running like this, your feet will be weak. He picked up Ranran, ignoring the strange looks from others. Either I'll be your leg and help you finish this half lap, she'll just be obedient, okay? The young man asked Ranran to sit on his back, but Ranran didn't show any affectation and went straight to his back. The young man had a unique flavor that made people feel secure. Chapter 5. Injury. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 6. Inviting guests. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In the evening, when I returned home, I thought to myself, what's the difficulty in asking parents? Did he perform poorly in the exam, afraid of being scolded by his parents? But through these few discoveries, when it comes to his family and childhood, the young man's eyes have lost their light. What has he really experienced? We don't know if he doesn't say it. My phone made a clanging sound, pulling me back. It seems that I am paying more and more attention to him now. I immediately connected, and an excited voice came from my phone. You said you wanted to treat me to a meal, let's do it now. Isn't it sweet? It's already late at night. Please treat me tomorrow. Are you not keeping your word? No, then you can book it. Then it's at the barbecue restaurant near Fuching No. 1 Middle School. We've already arrived, we're just missing you. That's it for now, I hung up with a beep. Ranran immediately opened her wardrobe and changed into a white top with jeans underneath, which was just the most normal outfit. Wearing it on Ranran gave her a different feeling. She took a taxi to her destination and got off the car. The first thing that caught her eye was the young man, dressed in a slim-fitting suit. He had a towering figure, with distinct and deep facial contours. His dark and deep icy eyes appeared wild and unrestrained, seductive and sexy, and his entire body was full of hair with a sense of intimidation. The evil and handsome face now wore a wild and unrestrained smile. This is the first time I've looked at him. You're here, Ranran. Sweetheart immediately picked up Ranran's hand and sat down in his seat. The young man raised his head and met Ranran's gaze, with an imperceptible tenderness from Si Chen. Muhan. Ranran, you can order whatever you want to eat. Ranran. Why does it sound like you're treating me Tian Tian? It's Si Chen's treat, so we can order whatever we want. Ranran. Didn't I invite you? I still bought barbecue. Si Chen couldn't stand her either. She wanted to invite her, right? He deliberately ordered more expensive. Ranran. If she knew now that Si Chen was intentionally manipulating her, she wouldn't have responded on her own. She should have obeyed what they said. Ranran. Just tick off the list and drink. Si Chen. Seeing Ranran ordering wine, he couldn't help but worry. Sweet. Ranran, you are so brave. You wanted to drink before we were even minors. I haven't tried it before, so I want to give it a try. Muhan. It's better for girls not to drink alcohol, otherwise it won't be safe to go home later. Ranran. Didn't you also order some wine? You still talk about me. Hee hee everyone. After the barbecue and drinks were served, Ranran became bold and unrestrained, and compared to the young man, he was like a child from day to day. Ranran. Oh, you should eat in big bites instead of chewing slowly. Han. He's used to it. Si Chen. Ranran was also a bold and unrestrained drinker. After drinking half a glass, the girl's face flushed and she looked even more charming at night. Si Chen also dared not drink too much. After all, he had to send someone back. The wood has gone back, please send Tian back first. Perhaps due to drinking alcohol, the wood's reaction is a bit slow. Han. It took him a few minutes to realize. I'll see you tomorrow, boss. Si Chen went to pay back the money and couldn't help but curl his lips as he watched Ranran sit restlessly in a chair. Ranran, where is your home? The girl snorted in dissatisfaction, and as she looked at her, he took a picture. He carried the sleeping girl on his back. It was late at night, and the silver moon dotted the deep blue sky. The shadows of the two of them grew longer and longer. He took her to his house and saw that the girl was sleeping soundly. He didn't want to disturb her, so he gently placed her on his bed, took off his shoes, covered the blanket and gently kissed her forehead. Finally, he turned off the light, and the boy went straight to take a shower, washing away his skin and heart. He lay on the sofa, and when drowsiness struck, he also fell asleep. Chapter 7. Exams. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the morning, Si Chen saw the young girl sleeping soundly, quiet like an angel, with a shallow smile that was crystal clear and transparent, as if she were a sleeping princess. He carefully closed the door and went to buy something for Ranran to eat. The sound of the phone jingling, the beautiful eyebrows slightly flicked, and it showed that it was a mother. Looking at her phone, Ranran immediately got up from bed and answered the call. Ms. Yun's wild roar came over the phone, why didn't you go home last night? Ranran is a bit dizzy, isn't I at home? Ranyan. All right. You have learned to lie. Ranran glanced at the bed and then looked at the surrounding environment. After finishing, I was confused. How could I be in a strange environment? The phone came and you can explain to me tonight. I dare not make a sound, I dare not even breathe in the air, afraid that there may be any abnormal changes, which will attract Ms. Yun's stormy criticism. I can only deal with it for now, Mom. I went to the exam first, and I'll explain to you tonight. After I finish speaking, I'll hang up immediately. Ranran put on her shoes and walked to her desk. She found many certificates, trophies, and medals on it. There were two big characters, Si Chen, and a diary written on it. Ranran was about to pick it up and read it when the door opened. The young man was already slightly upward, but when he saw me holding my diary, he had a fierce look in his eyes and felt that the surrounding environment was cold. Sorry, I haven't seen your diary yet. The boy heard my explanation and his anger slowly dissipated. The young man let out a faint quickly wash up, eat something, and go to the exam after finishing. The girl immediately went to wash, sat on the table, took a big mouthful of deep-fried dough sticks and ate them. Looking at the boy's eyes, she asked, how did I come back last night? What did I do to you? The boy thought of what he had done to the girl, and unconsciously, his earlobes involuntarily turned red. No, then why are you so popular? It's too hot. Teenager, open your eyes and tell lies. Ranran. I got it. When we arrive at school, Ranran, I am not in the same exam room as you. We are separated by a wall. What about Si Chen? He is a transfer student, so he is the last one to take the exam. Sweet. I don't know how his grades are. Ranran OS. Seeing so many certificates, trophies, medals at home. It looks like a top student. As soon as I entered the classroom, I found someone I didn't want to see and didn't expect to sit behind me. Ruan Xin saw me with a disdainful look in her eyes. At that moment, a broadcast sounded, inviting all teachers to hand out their papers. This section is about mathematics, and the questions are not difficult. What's bothering is the noise coming from behind. I immediately finished filling it out, and I raised my hand and said, "Can the teacher hand in the paper early?" The teacher thought for a moment, but couldn't. I lay bored on the table, waiting until it was almost time for the final inspection. Suddenly, I didn't know what was rolling under my feet. Suddenly, a sound came from my head, and the teacher Ranran cheated. Shit. Si, do you have B? Do you want me to send you some medicine? Ranran. If the teacher casually accuses cheating in exams, how will she handle this matter? Her exam will be invalidated and she will also ask for parental education. Okay, so I said there was no cheating, and I am willing to conduct an investigation. Upon hearing Ranran's words, Si unconsciously inserted her fingers into the flesh. Class is over, please stop writing. The last one should collect it and arrange it in order. Leave Ranran's test paper and Si's test paper for comparison. Chapter 8. Cheating. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 9. Truth. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The boy returned home, picked up the computer, and kept typing on the keyboard. At this moment, the phone jingled out and the fingers clearly picked it up. Chen, this one student really has the ability to spend money to delete the school's surveillance footage and then damage it. Let's take a look at what we're learning. We were like hackers before. The young man couldn't help but sneer, even the person on his phone was so cold. Chen, did this one classmate provoke someone you shouldn't have provoked? Well, she shouldn't touch her the least. The boy said these words and felt no longer cold. What should we do next? Of course, she is responsible for what she has done. You go restore the program, I will handle the monitoring matter, and after the matter is completed, I will treat you to dinner. I have a request, can the girl you helped bring me to know? Huaiji, don't forget that you are someone with a family. Just getting to know each other, brother Chen, you're making a big deal out of a molehill. Okay, on your way to help me, I'll bring you and get to know each other. That's settled then. You handle it first, I'll hang up. On the other hand, Ranran felt that what Si Chen said was right. Just take a nap, and she did as Si Chen said. After she finished washing up, she apologized to her mother, and Ranran also accepted Ranran's apology. After Ranran argued and left, Ranran had been thinking about whether she had done something wrong. Ranran. Ranran, Mom feels like she's not doing well either, so I apologize to you. Ranran felt a bit confused when her mother suddenly apologized. Mom, I'll turn over the story from last night, so I'll go to school first. As soon as I arrived at the classroom, I heard whispers. As soon as I sat down, the sound stopped. I turned around and asked Zhang Tian. Zhang Tian pointed to the podium, and the teacher came. Let's talk after class. Teacher, when will we have our grades? My parents have asked me about classmate A. Student B's grades from other schools have all been released, but our school is a bit slow. Class. Yes, quiet, who doesn't want grades? I also want to see how you did on the exam. The whole class. I only found out now that my desk mate didn't have a clean table and didn't put anything in it, because I wanted to know what my classmate was whispering, but my desk mate forgot about it. If Si Chen heard these words, he would probably be very sad, a little heartless thing. Because Ranran was suspected of cheating and her grades were disputed, the results were delayed. After listening, the classmates felt unbelievable. Classmate C, teacher, it's impossible. Ranran usually performs so well on exams and won't cheat. Someone must have slandered Ranran. Xin heard it and her classmates explained for Ranran, unconsciously pinching her own flesh with their fingers, unaware of the blood flowing. At this moment, Xin's friend said, if you do so well in your exams, it's not necessarily because you copied. Zhang Tian can't continue listening, teacher. If someone is found to slander Ranran, what will the school do? Parents are advised to write a self-reflection letter. Serious cases may result in dropping out of school and being recorded in the file. 1Xian was a bit scared when she heard it, but after finishing it, there was no room to stop. Suddenly, she thought of asking someone to help her delete the surveillance content, and she felt confident. It should be difficult for the school to track down, and then Ranran will be recorded in the file for cheating. The school is still under inspection, and when it is found out, the grades will naturally be known. The teacher finished speaking, and just as class was over, he walked out of the classroom wearing high heels. "Sweetheart, what are your classmates whispering to each other?" "Our class is going to transfer a new classmate, saying that they won't pressure you, Si Chen." Si Chen is the kind of person who is cool and dragging, while that new classmate is the kind of gentle and considerate type, forming a sharp contrast. "Ranran, you can tell me anything that happens, and I can share it with you." "Okay, I will definitely do it next time."